Morning all and welcome back once again to I Like Watches. I've got a couple of really interesting watches to show you in today's video. A micro brand which has been started by Chris, who lives in Poland. Chris is a level designer in the gaming industry. How cool is that? And Chris also likes watches, and he used a gaming engine to create the initial designs for these really quite interesting and unusual watches. A couple of options to show you, but I want to kick things off by showing you the packaging. The packaging is awesome. You've got two different colors for the watches, but then sort of matching colors for the packaging. Really nice packaging, good quality packaging. The top is held or connected to the bottom half with magnets, so you're gonna have to be a little bit careful on how close you let your automatic watch get to the edges of the boxes, but these two are running fine. I don't think there's any issues with those magnets being too close during transit. But yeah, really impressed with the packaging and the branding. How unusual is the branding? Arak, as in spiders, arachnids, arachnophobia. My mum's got arachnophobia. She cannot go anywhere near spiders. If you even show her a picture of a spider, she freaks out. But I like the branding. It's really quite unusual, isn't it? As is the design of these watches. Only two colour options available. I think I would have liked to have seen a few more available perhaps, although the downside to that is, of course, it becomes more expensive to produce the watches and that pushes the prices up. But yeah, really strong colours, black, white, a touch of green on the black one and a touch of sort of pinky purple on the white one. I am actually leaning a little bit more towards the white one, you know. I think it looks gorgeous. I am a sucker for white dials, mine, but I think this one looks really, really good on the white strap. It's definitely a watch I would wear. I'd probably wear the white one before I'd wear the black one. A little bit sort of unisex, I think, the white one, isn't it? They're quite bold, big watches, but then I'm not going to say they're fashion watches because they're not. But they are more sort of fashionable watches as opposed to tool watches. So I think they can be a little bit more bold, a little bit bigger on your wrist. So if you have a smaller than average wrist, or if you're a lady and you want to wear one of these watches, I think you can absolutely 100% get away with it. Um, I need to talk about the designs, don't I? Well, actually, I'm going to talk about the finishing first. When I first unboxed these watches, I was incredibly surprised by the quality of the steel finishing, the brushing, the polishing seems lovely. The transitions exquisite. Yeah, really, really impressed. The strap feels incredible. If you go onto the website, there's not a lot of details on the website in terms of specifications. It just says rubber for the strap. It doesn't feel like silicone. It doesn't feel like FKM. I suspect it is just a fairly standard rubber for the strap, but they are pre-curved at the case, very soft, very malleable, incredibly comfortable, really comfortable on the wrist actually. There are a couple of things that I think might put a few people off. The black, well, I was going to say stone, it's not stone, it's resin on the outside of the crown. I'm not wild about that sort of stuff really. I like crowns to be fairly simple, maybe just the logo on it. Yeah, I think that might put a few people off, although of course you only see it when you look at the watch from the side. The numbers, I like the design of the watch, but the numbers are central facing, so the 6 looks like a 9, doesn't it? Some of the numbers, well, the bottom half of the dial, the numbers are sort of upside down, and although that is quite interesting and unusual, I think some people will complain about that. There's also no lume on these watches. I think that's a missed opportunity. How cool would these watches be if the outer sort of chapter ring was loomed? The numbers are very bold, lots of space for there to be some lume filled into those applied numbers. So not the end of the world in terms of no lume, but yeah, I think that is going to be missed by a few people. One of the minor complaints, the sides of the case, interesting. There's some steel missing, obviously, but the finishing on that sort of cutout section on the sides of the case is matte, and that sort of finishing seems to hold on to the oils from your fingers. So you end up with these sort of grubby fingerprints, which are much more noticeable than they would be if the sides of the case were either brushed or even polished, actually. And I just think watch cases should have two types of finishing at the most, but with this particular case, you've got brushing, polishing and this sort of matte finish. NH35 inside of these watches, by the way, I haven't mentioned that yet, have I? There is a ghost position on the crown. There's no date complication on the dial. 2 pieces of sapphire crystal. It doesn't say on the listing, but there does appear to be AR coating on the crystal covering the dial. Both pieces of crystal are flat sapphire crystals. So yeah, sapphire sandwich, that's pretty cool. I like the way the straps integrate into the cases. It's seamless, isn't it? These straps were no doubt made for these cases, and I like that. The dials themselves, fairly sort of plain. There's no pattern or anything like that. You've got the logo, the picture of the sort of spider, applied numbers, polished hands, 1 through to 12 on the dial. 5-minute markers on the chapter ring with some additional details around the outside of the dial. You've got 8 black dots, and that represents the 8 eyes that most spiders have. Did you know that some spiders have 6 or even 4 eyes? I didn't know that. The back of the watch looks to be just as nicely finished as the rest of the case, actually. Screw down case back, pull push crown, 100 meters of water resistance, a few specifications on the case back look, and yeah, the rotor has been signed as well. Nice touch. So a couple of really interesting watches from Chris. I am super impressed. I'm very jealous. This guy's working in the gaming industry, and in his spare time he's using gaming software to design watches. I mean, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, I'm quite jealous. And what would you expect to pay for these watches? NH35 powered sort of micro brand watches on rubber straps. I think the price is fair. Chris has very kindly provided a 10% discount code, ILW10. It's not an affiliate discount code. The link over to the website is not an affiliate link either. But yeah, with that discount code, you're going to get these watches for around $400, £300, 360 euros. I think that's a fair price. Really cool looking watches and beautifully presented in really, really nice packaging. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what else Chris designs. Yeah, what a cool start to a new brand. I doff my cap to you, Chris. I am very impressed. But now it's time for you guys to tell me what you think of these watches. Yeah, let me know in the comments section. And if you have any questions, let me know. oldmantimegary@gmail.com.